Good morning and welcome to Terry TV. Were you wondering if I was ever going to be back? I got to say, guys, what a busy 2 weeks. As you may know, D23 happened, and I have to tell you, D23 was one of those things that seems to be an octopus when things happen. It just reaches out, embraces, and grabs and brings everything to it if you are a Disney fan. If you're not a Disney fan, you're probably wondering, what is this convention you speak of? Well, I will tell you that this convention is a convention that happens once every 2 years and is as exciting for so many people as the San Diego Comic-Con, which you all probably know about. It's hard not to know about the San Diego Comic-Con happening in San Diego every year. I'm happy to say it's not as crowded as that one. I'm happy to say it's not as busy as that one. And give me 1 minute, guys. I apologize, but okay. All right, cool. Just give me 1 minute. My dog is being. Yesterday, I spent the day. Let me just kind of explain to you what's happening. When you are an Imagineer, which I am an Imagineer and a pop icon, there are a lot of things appearances and things that you end up doing. Even if you're not an official part of D23, I'm always an unofficial part of D23 if I'm not an official part to D23 or the Disney convention. Does that make any sense? None whatsoever. Because all the people who come to D23, they come from all over the world. And because I broadcast and because I visit and because I know a lot of you from various things that I speak at and travel to, this is a chance for you all to come to a convention that you've had on your books as a Disney fan. And you'll reach out to me and say, hey, Terry, I'm coming in for D23. Are you going to be around? Can we have a coffee? Can we say hi? Can we enjoy a donut? Whatever. And I like to accommodate as many of you as possible because I have seen and heard from you on channels like this, right? But I haven't had the opportunity to, okay, I just read a thing that popped up. But anyway, I'm going back to whatever. Anyway, so many write and say, I'm coming down from San Francisco, Southern California. I'm coming over from Arizona. I'm coming over from Nevada. I'm coming over from New York. I'm coming over from the UK, Australia, Paris, wherever you're coming in from. You usually and so kindly reach out to me and you want to share a coffee or just say hello, get a picture, whatever. And I absolutely love it. So I always make sure that I carve out time around D23. Now, there are those of you who will come to Disneyland area, but not necessarily be going to D23. Or you're not sure I'm going to be going down to Anaheim. So you swing by and see me and say, can we meet? And we have a little light, we have a little bite to eat, we have a little nosh. And that's great. But that usually happens 1 week before D23. This time it spilled over into the week after. And today I was supposed to see 2 of my friends from the UK, but they got the opportunity to go to the Academy Museum. And if you haven't been to the Academy Museum, which they've been there, but the Academy Museum, the Academy of Motion Picture Museum, has a turnover. They always have new exhibits. They have new films that they show. They have new artists that they feature. And it's always fun to go there as often as you can. We are members. My husband and I are members, and we're very, very proud to be a part and support the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. So they got the chance to go today, and they were wanting to come see me too. But we've seen each other. We saw each other before D23. That's my dear friends, Andreas and Sally. And I wish you both a very, very safe flight tomorrow. And I'm with you in spirit at the Academy Theater. So at the Academy Museum. Don't sweat it. But when you get back, let's do a Zoom call and you can tell me how you enjoyed your trip here. But the main thing is I did get to see them before. We spent the day together and I had some friends come down to see them because they're part of my chalk walk team, Mickey's Walkers. And so a few people came to meet them, and we had a little gathering before D23. And then during D23, I got to see them on the show floor. And then I got to see them at the Lazy Dog dinner that I hosted for anyone and everyone who wanted to come and have a bite after D23 was all over. So after the big event that happened at the Honda Center on Sunday night, they all came over, and it was a huge gathering. The Lazy Dog ran out of tables. So it made me feel really special. You all did. So those of you who came to join me, shout out to George of Pegasus Loft. It was great to meet the two of you. We have been corresponding and talking and chatting for years and have never met face to face. So it was great to meet him, along with several others who came to the Lazy Dog. He did not make it to the Lazy Dog, but we saw each other on the show floor on Sunday. And it was just great, great fun. So I just want to thank you all. It was a lot of fun, but it was exhausting. Very, very busy. And then last week I had some more visits of people who didn't quite make it on the way down to D23, but they were on their way up and swung by and saw me. So yeah, whoo, what an e-ticket ride adventure. And then yesterday, guys, I celebrated my June birthday and my sister's August birthday at the Sunset Packing House with my sister. Went and saw her. She lives in Orange County, and we popped over there. She wanted to show me her home, how she had redecorated the home of her and her boyfriend. And we sat there and we visited and we exchanged birthday gifts. This is my birthday gift from her. A more fun gift. I gave her a fun gift too, but I also, she suffers from being the Ritz-Carlton for mosquitoes. And so I found this new mosquito light that is not a zapper bug light, but a new technology that a man has developed. And I gave her a couple of them and said, let's see if this works for you. You can, you can put it on your hip, but it has a wide range. So she likes to garden, so she tends tomatoes and basil and stuff like that. So I told her she could just hang it and it will just take care of her backyard. I gave her two, so it should cover her whole backyard, and that way they can go out, sit outside in the evening and not be molested by mosquitoes. I did hear from several people, including Walt's wife, that if you take B12, that the mosquitoes don't like that and they won't bite you. So I'm going to be talking to my doctor about B12 and whether or not it's okay for me to take it, or in this case, this young lady was getting B12 injections. I know a lot of you do. So this was very exciting to very, very exciting to hear about that, because that might be, if you need it. I don't know if I need B12. I mean, I don't want it to go the Ozempic route, where Ozempic is for diabetes, but many are taking it for weight loss, and there are some after effects that are not side effects, not after effects, but side effects that are not doing good for them. So it's just everybody wants a pill to lose weight, and myself included. It would be great if you could just take a pill and you lose weight, right? Or you go in and they redraw your body and you're slender, if that's what you want. But in my case, it's just no. It's just watch your diet, moderation, get a little bit of exercise, simple as walking, and you should all be good. And also, everybody has a place where it likes to rest. And I say that, try not to be twiggy, or try not to be, just be happy with who you are, eat right, exercise a bit, and love the skin you're in. I'm 67, so maybe that's easy for me to say, but I don't think so. I meet a lot of people like, Jane Fonda, who is spending her life trying to keep the clock from turning, and that is a losing battle. It just is. Jane, you're going to get old, just the way it works. So kind of love, do fun stuff, because life is short. So do fun stuff, have fun, do fun stuff. Yes. I just realized that I forgot to talk about one of the gifts that I got that was so special. So special. Villains Lands. Hi, Terry. D23. Woohoo. Villains Lands. Hi, Jacob. Good to see you. I did get to meet some people that I hadn't met before, like I said before, and then some I hadn't seen in a long time. So, gosh, it was great to see you guys. It was really, really super cool. One of the things, I met a lady, a wonderful lady, who is involved with this company and this product. Okay. And she gave it to me as a present. And she asked me if I knew about it. I do. I love this product. Okay. They are not paying me. They are not endorsing me. I notice when I watch other YouTube videos that I guess people get commissioned to use this as an ad or get sponsored by certain companies. This is not the case. This is a cup that my husband found and loves, and it is magic. It is magic. It is a magic. Let me unbox it for you here. It's magic. I was so touched she gave me this one because I'm a very active artist, so I banged up my mine, which is in like a bronzy color, which is really pretty, is getting pretty beat up because I just take it everywhere. I just love it. But this is not an inexpensive, this is an investment. All right. This is something that if you love tea and you enjoy hot drinks and you're busy like me and you don't get hot drinks and you like a smart cup, this Ember is a smart cup. Isn't that a gorgeous color? That color is really fun. This is going to go in my shop because honestly, I can find it anywhere. Right. But my dear friend Amanda Volden, she gave it to me at the Lazy Dog, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Amanda and say thank you. I'm really excited. My husband and I have one each, and like I said, mine is lovingly getting beat up. Now you may be saying, so I told you it's an investment. They run around $80. And you might be saying to yourself right now, say it with me, $80 for a cup? What? But I'm going to tell you, if you're someone who is an active artist, a busy person like yours truly, you are sculpting, you are painting, you are visiting, you are speaking. I speak from the stage. I do several charity events. I paint for charity. I sculpt for charity. I speak for charity. I have people come and see me for charity, spend a lunch with me for charity. And then I do it for schools. If you have a school, an elementary school, and you want me to come and speak, just give me a shout out. I do this stuff. I teach pumpkin sculpting, which is coming up. I'm a very, very busy lady. My father once said, let the whirling dervish whir. Well, here we go. Whir. One of the sad things about being a whirling dervish and letting the whirling dervish whir is that you either have tea that's too hot. I have a cup of tea here that has a heating pad. The heating pad, if the cup is off the heating pad for enough time, the pad will turn off and the tea will go cold. Okay. This is not $80. Okay. It is a very fine cup here in my studio. But if I forget to turn it on, or I set my cup down like this on my table, which you can't see, but let's pretend that there's a table here. Let me use this as an example. Okay. I'm going to use this little guy right here. Okay. So if I set it on the table like this, it is a metal base. And so it doesn't have the hot base to heat the cup. And the next thing you know, it goes cold. Or you have a normal cup and it goes cold. It sits there next to you. You take your cup of tea, you sit next to your painting project or your sculpting project, and you get to work, and all of a sudden you pick up your tea and it's ice. Okay, this was my MO for years. My MO for years was ice cold tea, no matter what. I might get a warm sip from it, but always ice cold tea. Enter my husband trying the Ember Cup. The Ember Cup is a smart cup, meaning that it has a unit in here that keeps it hot like this. Once you've charged it, it keeps it hot like this. And you see its cute little light that just kind of popped on. You see that light that's pops on right here, this white light? Says it's listening. It says, come on, talk to me. Tell me what you want me to do. But it will keep your drink warm for 2 hours by itself. But it also has a little charging plate, which I'll show you. I mean, let's face it, the Ember may not be for everybody. I believe in investing in a product that is that keeps on giving. This is something that is given me, but here's the little plate right here. It has this little thing. Don't let it get wet. I'm always making sure that the bottoms on both don't get wet. And you plug this in via this little port back here, and then you charge it all up. And back here, it says charge before use. That's what this little note says. But once it's charged, you can leave it here, and it'll keep your cup warm for a couple of hours, and then it will shut off. And then this will keep your cup warm for a couple of hours off the charging plate, and then it will shut off. But you can always put it back on here. It will reheat your tea. If you're someone who doesn't mind reheated tea, which is me, I make a very light tea. So being reheated, just give me a second. Okay. All right. Luckily, I was afraid. I'm trying to make sure that I keep track of my dog. Let me just let my husband know, dog en route. Nikki's on her way with the dog after she drops one off at the vet. Okay, there we go. Forgive me for doing that on live on camera, but like, what did I tell you? I'm always doing a lot of stuff. There it is, a lot of stuff. Anyway, a great cup. I'm very grateful. I got one for my birthday, and I absolutely love it because it can go over to my painting table. It can be here at my sculpting table. All roads lead to a hot cup of coffee or tea. I love it. You will have to decide whether or not it's a cup you want to deal with. Now, let me tell you something else about it. You can download the app. I mean, isn't there an app for everything nowadays? Yes, there's an app for everything nowadays. Now, this time I'm pulling up my phone to share with you. It is known as the Ember app. And it's right now telling me there's an update available, but this is the Ember app. I'm going to skip it for now because I want you to see the beautiful orange color. See the beautiful orange color? Okay, now you can get these in a multitude of colors. You can see here, and I don't know if you can see it well enough, but this is my little bronze cup that I am connected to. So what happens is it will let you know when you go in, when you go into it. Let me just see if I can show you what's going on here, because it might be too far because this one is in my next to my bed table. But yeah, it's telling me it can connect. But basically, let me just tell you that when you go into this app, you can set the temperature. So you go into the app, maybe you're someone that doesn't like scalding hot tea. And yet with a plate, it heats it. You can set the temperature to a certain extent, but it's very, very general. It's not specific. This one will get specific to your temperature. And that way, every time you pick it up, you can sip it without it being hot and uncomfortable. So I just want to say thank you to Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. I love this. I loved it before you gave it to me, but I'm so happy to know you and being able to tell you and your company that I love this. For me, this is an investment that is great, great, great. I don't, it may cost you $80 once. I just want to make sure I've got it in the right way. There we go. I tend to be one of these people that insists on having things be be right. There we go. I think that's about right. Okay, there we go. Put the little cup inside. Oh. Now there's something that's saying new. There we go. There we go. Okay, now we're happy. We are happy now. Put the cup here. There we go. Beautiful packaging, but honestly, just a killer, fabulous cup. The boxing is excellent too. Always create an experience. Don't just sell your product, as Terry's wise words there. There we go. But I thought you'd like to see that. I just thought you guys would like to see it. I know this gets too hot. You know, the other thing that can be difficult with a cup of tea is that with the app, depending on how full the cup is on an ember, you can set the temperature so that it's consistent. With a plate, it's a little more challenging to do that as the tea goes down to nothing. Also, this one does not automatically shut off unless the cup of liquid is empty. So no liquid, it shuts off automatically. If it has any liquid in it, it will burn it to the cup, which could become a fire hazard. So this is one of the reasons that the ember is really great. You know, you pay for it once and you keep loving it over and over and over again. That's what I love about the ember. Look it up. It's good for coffee. It's good for tea. It's good for cocoa. Anything that if you're someone who's always drinking a cold cup, you know, be nice if ember made plates so that my dinner would stay hot, because as a cook, as a chef, as the person who does the meals, if you're someone who makes the meals for your family, when was the last time you got to eat your meal hot? Hey, Ember, maybe you should make a warm plate that does the same thing as this cup. I don't know, but I would sure like it. My husband says, what about those heat lamps? But no. You know, you just kind of resolve yourself to the fact that your food is going to be warm or cold. And that's the way it is. It's a tiny sacrifice for your family to have good food and healthy food, isn't it? But I laugh, you know. And now that my husband's retired, I feel very, 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 very fortunate because I get to eat a hot meal once in a while because he's cooking. So I'm really grateful to him for that. Very, very grateful to him for that. But this ember is a great thing. Yes, it's $80, but yes, it is a good investment. I mean, you know, $80 over, I got it for my birthday. I don't know if it was this year's birthday. I got it for last year's birthday. So over a year, $80 over 365 days is a pretty good cup. That's the way I like to look at things. You know, we were discussing at the Lazy Dog and many other things of this thing at the D23 event, the pass holder expense at Disneyland. And I thought I would help you guys that maybe buy a pass or don't buy a pass or can't buy a pass or whatever. The pass holders, the annual passes that Disney sells are still the best bargain. Okay, let me say that again. The absolute best bargain say that again, if you can utilize the pass multiple times. So the biggest pass, the Dream Key pass, the top pass, is, let's say, for sake of argument, around $2,000 a year to own. I know it's less, but this will help me with my math because as an artist, I'm not good with math, nor do I care to be. I hire people for that, or I ask people to help me for that. But just for the sake of argument, let's say to do a park hopper pass, to buy a ticket for a park hopper, it's $200. And to get the top Disney pass is $2,000. You see what I'm going here? 200 into 2,000 is 10 times. If you go 10 times to Disney, you paid for it, right? If you go 11 times, now you're saving money. Now you're in what we call the black, because you are now in the profit zone. You go 12 times, 14 times, 20 times. Now you're really saving some big money, aren't you? Aren't you saving some real good cash? Yes. Now, if you're someone who lives out of town and you don't come to Disneyland 10 times, that pass is not a bargain for you. But if you live like I have got so many collectors that I know that live a stone's throw away from Disneyland. They go there for dinner. They go there for a Dole Whip. They go there to shop. They go there to get a popcorn bucket. They go there. You see what I'm saying? And their parking is paid for if you have the top key pass, which continues to elevate and get raised. But that is included in the top pass. So if you are someone who lives near Disneyland, or like me, where the car just goes, it might as well be a working Tesla that just wants to go to Disneyland any chance it gets, because I go so often to see people like you, to say hi, to grab a drink or something, or to just, if I'm in the area, I look up, I'd make the appointment, I go get a Dole Whip or whatever, maybe I'm popping over to Company D and taking a look at what they have, or a nearby store, and saying, hey, let's see what they've got. Hey, let's see, is there an appointment? Boom, going into Disney to enjoy myself. So if you're doing that, plus if you have the free parking, it's a great place to park if you want to go to downtown Disney and explore, go to downtown Disney and not worry about, oh, am I going to be charged on top of it for parking? It just works. It just works. So look at those passes as often as you go, and then do the math and just say, if you only go once or twice a year, if at all, like my husband, then buying a ticket is the best way to do it. I go to Disneyland twice a year. Well, then a pass doesn't really make sense. But if you're someone who just loves Disneyland or Walt Disney World like your second home, this is when they're still a bargain. They still make sense. So this is what I feel about the Amber Cup. I have a cup of tea every morning. I have a cup of tea in the afternoon and at night. Maybe I want a cup of cocoa. I don't know. I just like my drinks to be warm and hot. And I haven't had the pleasure because I get busy. I'm packing for my tribe, or I'm illustrating, or I'm designing, or I'm creating, or I am a one-stop. I'm a whirling dervish, my dad says, and he's right. So it's nice to just know that if I get distracted in designing or creating or reading or studying or taking class or whatever, my tea is always hot and lovely in an Ember cup. This cup is great, but the Ember cup doesn't burn me where this can burn me. If you touch here, you could be burned. Okay, you could get a burn. So this is a less expensive cup, maybe $20. But the Ember cup for $80 just keeps on delivering in a multitude of ways. And it's a great little cup. It's something that I can travel with if I want to, though I don't really do that. But I could travel with it because it is such a nice compact unit that it really works. So I thought I'd share with you today because Amanda was so sweet to give it to me. I was so excited to get a new one because now I can probably switch this one out, put my Amber here, and it's great. The other thing that's really cool about it that you may not realize is because it's got the heating element in the bottom of the cup, you can go and make 3 cups of tea and not worry that you can have them all lined up. So I make tea for me and I make tea for my husband. And I know it's going to stay at his temperature because you warm the water and you make the tea and whatever, and then you set it aside like this. And the Ember is working to keep it at its proper temperature while you make the next one in the other Ember. Okay. And you could do like 4 or 5 Embers for everybody if you had them. And every Ember keeps it the right temperature and it doesn't get cold. So cup number 1 doesn't get cold because you're working on cup number 5. You follow me? Just saying. It's really worth the investment to me. It didn't sponsor me. I wouldn't mind if they did, but they didn't. This was just a really sweet gift that I got at Lazy Dog from my wonderful friend Amanda. And I really was grateful that she did it, and I thought she needed some love. I needed to give her a shout out for that. So there you go. You may be asking yourself, what is Terry's Tribe. I've mentioned Terry's Tribe several times, and if you're just joining us or you're watching this after the live, you may be saying to yourself, what is Terry's Tribe? You keep saying Terry's Tribe, Terry's Tribe, Terry's Tribe. Terry's Tribe is a remarkable group of people that spend some time with me away from the live chats. It's a special chat, it's a special gathering, and I'm going to show you how you can join should you decide to. Patreon.com/Terri Hardin. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Patreon, but if you haven't, it is a collection of artists who create a venue where you can speak with us for a membership fee. My membership fee is $5 a month. That's the base portal level. There are higher portals for higher things, but I recommend you go in for $5 a month. And if you're happy there, stay there. And I will let you know when to go higher if you want to. Many go a little bit higher because they think I over deliver, and I thank you for that. But I am working to get classes in there. You'll see if you look at the portals, some will do classes and some will do other things. But with things like the death of my dad and a lot of things I've been doing, I recommend you come in at $5. You test the water for a month. If it's something you love, please stay. And if it's something you don't, then we will not be like, we won't say bad things, and we won't post evil on your Facebook page or your YouTube channel. We are just saying your voice needs to be heard. And it's a group of people that visit and support each other. And if you're an artist who's trying to figure out how to make a living doing what you love and you don't know how, it's a great spot. Come into the portal and ask. We've got comic book illustrators, we have writers, we have people who are magic at cleaning, we have cast members from Disneyland, alumni from Disneyland, legends from Disneyland, including yours truly, and all kinds of things that we talk about there. And it's just $5 a month. Go here, check it out, see if you want to be a part of it. And I welcome you to come join. If you've joined and you haven't heard from me, give me a couple of days, me and social media. So I will be sending you a welcome letter. That's happening today. Okay. So I just got super swamped with this D23 thing, wanting to make sure that I saw as many of you as I possibly could, because I knew you were going to be getting on a plane and going away. And I didn't want to miss or lose track of you. Didn't see everybody. I invited as many as I could to the Lazy Dog, and I saw a great group there. But so many that the Lazy Dog ran out of tables. So it was really super, super good. A lot of times, if you're someone who's a host for a party and stuff like that, if you're someone like me who just wants to make sure as many people are having a good time as possible, it's good to eat before the party, even though food is there, because a lot of times you don't sit down and eat. You're moving. And that's because I want to make sure everyone gets a chance to have a visit. I want to know you. I want to know about you. I want to know what's going on with you. I met some great people at this one and learned some great stuff. And it was fun. It was just gloriously fun. So patreon.com/Terri Hardin. Come join. $5 a month. We do it month to month. I like to do it month to month. You can do yearly subscriptions, but I haven't activated that yet. And the reason I haven't is because I want you to be able, have you ever done a yearly subscription and tried to get out of it and then get your money back? It can be challenging. I'm not saying it's challenging on Patreon, but I can't stand that. So until I'm committed to a yearly subscription, and for me right now, I just feel that you can go month to month. You give your credit card to the Patreon page and it just takes it out month to month until you say no, until you, for whatever reason, you can't be with us anymore or whatever. But I'll tell you, the $5 a month is so you can put a jar by your door and throw a quarter in it. And by the end of the month, you've got your amount, because I feel that I need you as much as you need me. We do a Zoom call, which is a live chat with me every week, except for these past 2 weeks. I was unable to do that. But every week I do it, and as much as possible, usually on Wednesdays, but I've shifted over to Fridays lately, simply because it's a good day for my tribe. So whenever I do a pre-recorded here, it's because I'm visiting with them. So think about it, check it out. No harm, no foul. But if you're someone who wants to be in a comfy bed of feathers with a lot of great people who are upbeat and positive, not all Disney. We talk Lego, we talk movies, we talk filmmaking, what we love about old movies, black and white, new movies. What's your favorite guilty pleasure movie? We talked a little bit on this channel about a couple I touched base on. And if you like that, I can bring that back. I'm just all over the place. This is not a normal YouTube channel because I'm not a normal Disney Imagineer / Muppeteer / icon. Okay. I've done 43 different films and TV. I've sculpted and my stuff is seen all over the world. And you can ask me here, but if you want a little closer contact, a little one-on-one action, want to talk to me directly, Patreon's the place to do it. Okay. And I hope you'll consider joining because I would love to have you there. All righty. Okay, so let's look at your comments. Many of you maybe slept in today a little bit. I don't blame you. I was really feeling it myself after yesterday. As I started to tell you last night, I went to the Napa Rose and had dinner with Margaret Carey, the model for Tinkerbell and Peter Pan. If you've met Margaret Carey, you know she's an absolute darling of she's the darling of Disney, and personally, I feel, just like Tinkerbell is. And so if you'd like to meet the darling of Disney, my suggestion is you do, because she's wonderful. She's absolutely fun. And she's wonderful. So I got to have dinner with her thanks to a young lady named Christy Vaca, and just fabulous. Christy had a dinner celebrating her, and she was telling me a couple of things. I took my husband. She hadn't seen my husband in a long time. She loves my husband, Lindsay. And Lindsay didn't get to chat with her much because there were 12 of us there. And Margaret's time was just, you'd like the woman to get to eat once in a while. So she sat and she ate, and she sat next to her friend Scarlett. And she hadn't seen Scarlett in a while. I hadn't seen Scarlett in a while. She sat across from Leslie Smith. Many of you may have seen Leslie as she sang during the Jolly Holiday presentation at D23 in the morning. Many of you were present for that. There was my friend Leslie singing away. She does a lot of the music for a lot of these movies that you see. Very talented young lady, lots of Disney people. And it was very exciting, very, very exciting to sit with her. But Margaret leaned over and she said, "Terry, you remember when we signed the Tinkerbell together?" And yes, indeed, there's a Tinkerbell I sculpted, Tinkerbell tiptoeing across the map. And Margaret signs one side and I sign the other. So announcement, she will be at the Disneyana Fan Club event coming in October. So if you wanted a reason to go to meet her. She's amazing. I'll be there too, so you can meet me. And many other Disney people come. A lot of times you can see a lot of people that you know and love in a venue that's a lot more intimate than D23. So you can actually meet us and talk to us and have conversations with us and stuff. However, I had some great ones on Sunday, so I'm not saying I didn't. I had a great time. I really enjoyed it, and I loved seeing y'all, but that's the deal. So as I get back on track now, and I get back in the groove of some of my classes, and then I have a Hollywood show. I got picked up by a company called CelebWorks, and I absolutely love my agent. He's amazing. And I'm going to be doing a talk at the Hollywood show in Burbank in October as well. And I want to do a sculpture to commemorate, just a little special sculpture from Ghostbusters. So if you like to collect my art, this will be an opportunity to get a little something for me that's not Disney. A lot of times I sculpt Disney. Then a lot of times I just sort of sculpt. So this is a great opportunity for you, but I will be telling you about it more as we get closer. Also in October, I teach pumpkin sculpting classes. For those of you who know me or are looking at me right now, you've fallen into this channel and you're like, where have I seen her before? You might watch a show on the Discovery Channel or on the Food Network called Outrageous Pumpkins. And I've been a judge with Outrageous Pumpkins since 2005. Yes, kind of the Simon Cowell of it, but not because I'm not mean. I'm just open because I want them to win. So I always give them constructive criticism. So constructive is key. I don't pick on them, but I always show them ways to improve because their goal is to be the big winner and I want to help them achieve that goal. So I always do that. But if you haven't seen me on the show, you can see it on Max, you can see it on the Food Network, you can see it on Discovery Channel. And there's probably other channels you can see it on, but you can see all 4 seasons that we've done so far. And I hope you check it out. But that's the deal there. More on this later. You do not have to absorb this all today. It's just my brain, on Zilla, like it's my Zilla brain that just goes to tell you everything that I can think of in a nutshell. Right? So there you go. So I will be broadcasting Monday again. So fear not. I am back. So it's good to see you. Let's see what you have to say. And Jacob has already said, hi, Terry D23. He also said, did you get to talk to Mickey Mouse? They had a really cool screen charter thing where you could talk to him. Well, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, Jacob, but I created a talking Mickey Mouse, the one you see in parades and stuff. I was one of the first to, I was one of the puppeteers that helped Disney bring that to fruition. The problem with it back in the day, and this is what I have been mentioning to some of my friends who are creators, Walt was an innovator before, and often the time his brain worked faster than technology. So one of my favorite attractions at Disney was the little flying saucers, but it took like a building to operate them. So I keep asking Bob Gurr if there's any chance you guys can experience the little flying saucers. Not that Luigi's tire or whatever it was. That was ridiculous. But these little cute little flying saucers that 2 people got in, and it was like riding an air hockey puck. I loved it, but was constantly breaking down because it took computers that were inside a building that would overheat and then malfunction. And, now with technology, it could be a chip. It could actually be like something like with Mickey Mouse. That's what happened. Originally talking Mickey Mouse needed a puppeteer, needed me to go, hello, how you doing? Whatever. And then the voice would do the voice and I would manipulate to the voice talking. But now it's a chip pre-programmed with the voice. No harm, no foul. You got a cute blinking, talking Minnie and Mickey Mouse. So no, I did not see this. I spent most of my time in Exhibit Hall A talking to my friends. So I didn't see a lot of the exhibits they had. I don't usually do that because if I have a booth there, which I was unfortunately didn't get a booth at D23 this time, all my friends come to see me. I'm at my booth. I'll say, hey, I'm at this booth. If you get a minute, swing by on your way to your presentation. And it's really joyful. Would I like to do a presentation for D23? Of course I would. I would love to do it. But here she is. Hold 1 second, guys. Are you here?
I will be. I'm just getting off the freeway, so I got to kind of throw her after you and drive on.
All right. I'll tell my husband because I'm broadcasting now. So I'll tell my husband. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Bye. 1 minute, guys. Nikki's dropping off Rocket in a few minutes. She needs you at the door because she needs to move quickly. Can you handle it? Don't forget the checkbook. See, yesterday I was out having dinner with Margaret and I was worried about my little dog staying at home for the full day. So I had her with my dog trainer, Nikki, and she's bringing her back this morning because it's hard to be away from your little fur baby. So thank you for being patient with that. Anyway, on this Mickey Mouse thing, this is just cool. I heard a lot of things about stuff, including the Walt audio animatronic character where the granddaughter of Walt Disney said, please God, no. So you may have noticed on Twitter and Facebook, and I don't know if she did a YouTube, but I think she went on every social media channel she could think of and said, please don't let them do this to Grandpa. So lots of fun, exciting things that are happening. But yeah, Jacob says, are Muppets Vision 3D going to stay for Good Hope? So we need Muppets in Disney. Well, if you saw, a friend of mine sent me the interview with Frank Oz, who was just made a legend. I would have loved to have seen Frank, but I wasn't in the area. I worked with Frank Oz on a little movie you may remember called Indian in the Cupboard. And then I worked with Frank Oz on programming the Penguin Band for Muppet 3D Theater, which is mentioned here. My friend Bruce Lanoyle and I got to work very closely with Frank. A bit melancholy because we had just lost Jim. So it was a bit challenging for all of us to stay, keep up the good fight because we had lost our dear friend. But Frank is adorable. Frank deserves to be a legend. It was great. And he says that it looks like the Muppets have somebody in the catbird seat at Disney who likes the Muppets and is going to bring them in a good way to you. So fingers crossed. As far as I know, Walt Disney World has no plans. This is as far as Terry knows, and I don't have my finger on every pulse. So, but I will tell you that I think Muppet 3D is there to stay. I think that who knows? I don't know what they have planned, but I know I have a friend that's going down there specifically to see Muppet 3D, and he's wearing his Kermit the Frog shirt. Have you guys seen that really cool Kermit the Frog shirt that Disney put out with Kermit all over it? I'll show it to you because it's really super neat. Of course, I bought several because I'm a Muppet person, and this shirt feels good against your skin. But it's really cute, isn't it cute? Cute. Yes. Yeah, I like stuff like that. That's just, they should have one that has animal on it. That's my favorite character, is the animal. I never got to perform the animal, but I love the animal. I've been with the Muppets since 1982. So those of you who weren't born yet, that's a long time of being a Muppeteer. And I'm very proud of everyone. And I love the Hanson guys, but they, as you know, they're with Disney now. The Muppets are with Disney now. Brian doesn't have a lot to do with them other than they ask him to come and be a guest and stuff like that. But I like visiting Brian, and I just like everything across the board. So it's good to see him. I'm really happy they're doing well. But to answer your question, Jacob, I think they have a good future. Let's hope. Okay, let's hope. Bob, how are you? Happy Friday. Bob Lineweaver, my dear friend and tribe member. Wendy Cooper, as a mom, I never get to eat a hot meal. That's why I prefer it now. That's the way. Oh, that's the way you prefer it now. Isn't that great? Isn't that like a mom? You just adjust. Wendy, you're so cute. Yes, you're right. And my husband said, I can get it for you hot. And I was kind of like, I'm so used to it this way. But because he retired, he cooks some of the meals for me when I'm a little bit too swamped, which was like last week. And this week, he nailed a cup. See, I'm drinking tea, see? So I'm looking forward to it being my Ember Red out here. Because, boy, that was such a nice little quick gift that I'm just so thrilled to get it. Yeah, I'm really good. It was so nice of her to do that. You guys are always so kind. Bob says, back when I managed restaurants, I always had to eat cold food. As soon as I'd sit down to eat, someone would need my immediate attention and food would have to wait. This is the story of a mom, Bob, right? Just as Wendy Cooper said, this is just, and my husband worked nights before he retired. So our main meal was done at lunch before he left in the afternoon to work night shift. Because he worked up at Universal. He was in filmmaking and doing a lot of stuff. You know how it is. You do editing, you do film, you do color correct, you do all kinds of cool stuff. And he was always at his console, and it was always needed immediately. So we would pack for him nibbly bits so that his dinner consisted of things you could pull out and eat while working. And so I always had to make sure the main meal of the day was lunchtime and we had a good breakfast. And this now, as we shift, we sort of shift slowly. We kind of go, hee. And the reason we do is because sometimes we still want something light, so we might eat. Here is the retirement meal plan. Would you like to hear it? Okay, I think you said yes. The retirement meal plan is to discover a time when the restaurant isn't busy. especially if you've got a restaurant that opens at 11 and closes at 11, right? They open at 10:30 and they close at 11 p.m. or they close at 9 p.m. or whatever. Around a particular time of the day, they are all empty or one or two people. You find out what that hour is or what that couple of hours is, and that's when you go and eat there as a retired person. It's almost like owning the restaurant yourself. The restaurants are grateful because they have nothing to do. They're, come on, somebody come in and eat. And it's wonderful. It's absolutely fabulous. So we've managed to do this across the board. When do we go to get a nibble? When do we go to get a coffee? When do we go to get a eat? And it works great because you find parking, which I am a stickler about. You have someone who is attentive because they're just so glad that you showed up. And then you keep away from those big waves where parking is difficult, where you're standing in line and waiting for a table. You know what I mean. If you're going out, we also make going out to dinner a treat, not an essential staple. I feel with the prices at restaurants now, you can't, maybe you can, but you can't use restaurants to feed you every day. It's one way. If you stop doing that, you can watch your budget. Your budget goes through the roof recently because of the increases in employee pays and stuff. It's got to go somewhere, and it goes to the consumer, which is you. So we make it a treat for us. It is a treat to have. It's a treat to eat these. You go out to a wonderful restaurant and it's a treat to eat there. So that's what we do. So we cook and bake and we make most of our meals at home 90% of the time. And then it's a treat to go out, like the Napa Rose last night to see Margaret. It was a treat to eat there. Each one of us was responsible for our own bill, but we got to see Margaret. I got to see Leslie. I got to see Scarlett. I got to see so many people that I had not seen and new people. And Margaret told me about the night before when she talked to the current Tinkerbells of Disneyland. So, cast members who do different characters, where she got to meet with her Tinkerbell tribe. So it was very sweet. It was very wonderful. And she enjoyed it very much. And they enjoyed it very much. They just went crazy for her. So again, if you can get to the Disneyana fan club event in October, it would be a great time to go and see her and show her some love because she's just a doll. You will fall in love with her for sure. She's a performer like myself, and she will show you how to take a good photo. So you'll pose with her and she'll tell you how to take a good photo every single time. So I think you guys will really enjoy it. She's absolutely a love. Hello, Mike. I am good. I am still a little tired though, because we drove home and we got here. I think we got back to my home at around 9:30, and I had to post for you guys to let you know. I tried to do it early in the morning before we had to leave, but it didn't happen. So I had to do it that night. And yeah, I'm a little, that Sandman is still kind of around my eyes a little bit. So I'm going to be resting this weekend. When you get to be 67 in the 60s, senior year person, and I'm a young senior years, as everyone tells me, Margaret especially, you're just a baby. It's very sweet of her to say that, but she's 95, so I guess that works. You got to have a nap. I think a nap is one of the most wonderful things, siesta, which is what Mexican people always say is so great. They I don't know whether they designed the siesta. In any case, having that afternoon nap of an hour or two really rejuvenates the entire body. And I think everyone should be able to have a nap because I'll tell you, for this person, it is life-changing. And I am I usually am up till midnight. Then I wake up about 7, 8 o'clock, sometimes 6. But if I have a nap, like if I wake up at 6 or I have to wake up at 5 or whatever, then I'll have a nap in the middle of the day if I can swing it. If I can swing it. And a lot of times your body says, oh, by the way, you're swinging it. You know, all of a sudden you're just like, I guess I better take a nap. There's a lot of other things that are change in an older body. I'm going to tell you right now. I used to drink one full glass of wine, and it used to be my limit. And now it is a half a glass. That is my limit. It just affects me more now. So I usually have a half a glass of wine, not super often, maybe with dinner, 2 times a week, maybe sometimes. But I am careful as to when because it does affect me. So I make sure half a glass, it does affect me a little bit if I'm going to be driving or I'm going to be, I make sure I do it really early in the afternoon or before I'm going to drive, like hours before I'm going to drive, like 4 hours before I'm going to drive, because that way it's gone through my system and I'm not fuzzy. It might just be that this is what I'm thinking about. I don't drink a lot of alcohol, but every once in a while, a Bailey's and coffee is really good. So stuff like that, or I like a sour cocktail once in a while, but I always have it early. Even if I'm not driving, I have it early, and then my husband usually just doesn't touch it when he's driving. So we were both at the Napa Rose, and the first thing we did was ask if we could have our wine with our appetizer so that we could sort of sip it through, but it was a small amount and we didn't, go. And then he was very tired. So he had this wonderful dessert. They have this amazing dessert. And we got to talk with the chef, Chef Brian. He came and saw us, which was just wonderful. And he talked to me I spoke with him about the dishes. I said, can you explain to me about these dishes? What dish would you recommend? Blah, blah, blah. And then I asked him how to cook a chicken breast. And it was really fun because, he is a Napa Rose chef. Master chef. I mean, why not? If a chef is at your table talking to you, why not say to him, a chicken breast can always be dry. How can we make it moist and tender? And he gave me some great ideas. So it was wonderful to visit with him. It was wonderful to visit with everyone there. Great honor. Christy Vaca, thank you for inviting me. My husband and I had a great, great time. And thank you, Mike. This is why I'm a little bit sleepy. Have you ever worked with Bonnie Erickson? Jacob, remind me what Bonnie does. I am a visual more than a name person. Bonnie sounds very familiar, but the face is going to kick it off to me more than anything. Well, Surfer Girl's in the house. Hi, my dear. Good to see you. Yes, hello. Really good to see you. Yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Hello, Stephanie. How are you? Yes, yes, it's good to see you. It's very, very good to see you. Mike says, I look good today. That's because I'm wearing my Muppet Haunted Mansion shirt. Have you seen this one? I'm always looking for shirts of color, lots of color in them, because my husband says they look better on camera than something black or dark or, I usually wear, like a lot of times I'll wear solid colors. Or that Muppet shirt I showed you with Kermit. It's black, but it's got bright green Kermits all over it. So I'm always looking for something that has pops of color. And so thank you. This is my Muppet Haunted Mansion. So it's little Muppety characters as opposed to like little Muppety monsters as opposed to actual authentic Haunted Mansion people. Barbara, hello, darling. We missed you. I hear that you had visitors, but I missed you coming and seeing me the other day. I love your show. I thank you. I do too. I couldn't resist it. There's a lot of Muppet stuff that I like. I mean, I can build my puppets, and I should start building again. I am working on that, but there's some things that I wanted to do that are important that I want to do.
Someone is at the BRB front door.
There she is. There she is. Thank you. That's my, what is that? Is that Alexa? There. And my husband is letting her in. Ah, that is a really cool thing. I never had a doorbell out here. So now my husband just got me this Alexa thing that that tells me when there's somebody at the front door so that I can answer it if he's not here or whatever. I could say, "Be right there. Package for you, Terry. Be right there." Technology. It's good and it's good, right? An honest and fair judge. Thank you, Barbara. That's sweet of you to say. Thank you for saying that. Wendy says, I saw an episode of Outrageous Pumpkins a couple of days ago. Really, Wendy? Well, you're in for a treat. Some of the best carvers in the world. And then I teach this. I will teach this October. And I will teach it. I think I'm going to teach it online this year because not all online, but we'll have a Zoom training. If you're interested, I will keep you posted. But also, I'm doing a live class where you can spend time with me for the entire day. It doesn't take the entire day, but we do all kinds of fun stuff around it. First of all, you get fed. And then you also get to, if you are a collector and you have things that you love, but it's not quite eBay material, you don't want to eBay it, but you love it and you like it, and you say to yourself, I'd love to just give it a good home. Okay. I have something, it's really neat. I'd love to give it a good home. Now, on Terry's Tribe, we do treasure chests every other month where you guys get stuff because I'm working on cleaning out my garage. So it's very exciting. It's very wonderful. And I can actually quiet this down now because Nikki is taken care of. But my main point is that at this class, we have a table and everyone gets to put on the table some things that are in their house that they're no longer attached to. But it's really cool Disney stuff. Okay? I'm trying to think of an example for you guys. I'm thinking. Okay, I've got something. Okay. You have this little stuffed animal. You love him, but it's time for him to move on because your stuffed animals are taking over your bed or whatever. But but you don't want to do an eBay sale of him. You just don't want to do the thing. Well, you set him on the table with his cute little face looking up at you, and we draw names of every student that's at the pumpkin carving class, and they get to pick from the table anything they want, anything and everything they want. Shush. Oh, it's Stephanie. Okay. But anyway, it's super cute. It's super wonderful. It's darling, darling, darling. And whatever you have, like you have something like this, or you have a mug that you like, or you have just something that you don't want to sell, but you want to go to a good home, like this little fellow. Now, there's a second wonderful thing about this little fellow. I told you I was a puppeteer, right? And many people ask me, what if I don't have sewing skills? I don't have puppet sculpting skills. Well, you can take a puppet that's cute like this, and you can open him up and you can make him a puppet. So I just did a quick thing to show you, but here he's been hollowed out, and I've made it so that he can wave to you, see, here he is sitting here and he's clapping. You're going to clap for us? Yeah, clap, clap, clap. Yes, make sure. There you go. Clap, 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 clap. He can nod. He can be happy because, and that's what that's what you like. And then you want to show him your trick? Okay, show him your trick. He goes into a ball. Yes, you are pretty good, aren't you? So what you can do here, and this was just a really quick demonstration. So what I would do here is fill out the head so that when he nods and looks left and right, he keeps his round shape. Right now, it's just my fingers inside, but you can see that he's very happy. Yeah, and he can clap like this. This is just a measure. So see, when he looks up, this gets kind of wrinkly. So I'll make it so that when he claps, his face doesn't distort. But it's a really simple, easy way. You just stuff it a little bit, and you've got this really cool little guy that can react and look either way and then go into a bowl. So you can look at stuffed characters that you have and realize that they can. There we go. Oh, I see. I put some stuffing in there and it disappeared, didn't it? Yes. Now you can clap and your face doesn't look that distorted, right? Yes, I know. I know. Okay, go over there. But you'll have the opportunity, if you don't have sewing skills, you open them up. You can stuff in the place, tuck your fingers in. Clapping, I did this. So there, his head was operated by these. Or you can do it like this. Like this too. So yeah. So that's if you might not have a lot of sewing skills and stuff. And this will help you. Let me just stop this for a little bit. There we go. Shh. So I can keep talking. Yeah. But anyway, that's just a little bit. But the table has all kinds of things, from a Starbucks cup you no longer use to things you just like. One of my friends makes delicious jams and jellies, and we name them after Star Wars planets. So as a gatherer, I go to various Star Wars planets, gather these special jams and jellies, and you can pick one of those from the table if you like to. But you can pick whatever you want that's on the table, and that's just an added gift bonus for you. Many people who are my alumni for the pumpkin sculpting class will bring things, will accumulate things in a box where they want people to pick them because they'll love on them. We've had a beautiful, one year somebody donated a Peter Pan stocking that was gorgeous. Another year, it was a Snow White cookie jar. So it's just anything in your heart that you want to go to a good home, but you just don't want to sell it to an eBay or put it in and you definitely don't want to put it in a garage sale. It's above garage sale, but you're not interested in it'll go to a good home, and you just get to watch these people light up as they grab what they like and cuddle it to them and go, wee. So it can be anything, like this sweet little adorable animal. Someone might want this little animal. This little guy might be discontinued or whatever, but you say, I don't want to eBay him. I don't want to garage sale him, but you can take him to the class, and someone else will win the opportunity to take him from the table. So that's coming up soon. So there you go. There you go. Yes, thank you for saying that, Wendy. I love you for saying that. Non-busy restaurants are the best, and this is what Barbara is saying. She's also a retired person, and this is one of the things about being retired that is magical. You go to theaters when they're not busy to see movies. Okay, you go to a movie when it's not busy. You go to museums when they're not busy. You go to things on weekdays. You go to the beach on days that nobody's there. I mean, we get visits. So right now, the beach is very, very busy. We go on another time, another day. It's a great thing to do. It's a great thing to do. And Barbara, you're absolutely right. It sounds like the dinner with Margaret was really enjoyable. Barbara, Margaret Carey is always a joy. It's true. Lindsay and I didn't get to have full-on conversations with her, except for that she has been my friend for so long that she leaned, Christy gets really hyper excited about having Margaret in with her. So she's constantly saying, oh, Margaret, we got to take a picture with this, bring this girl around and let's take a picture of this. She's all over the place. I don't know if she eats much, but she was hosting the Napa. So I got to meet her husband. Actually, I've met her husband and her daughter Bella, but we sat across from them. So I got the opportunity to really get to know them last night, which was a lot of fun. And then, of course, Margaret leans across Christy and talks to me. If she wants to talk to whoever she wants to talk to, she turns and she talks to you. So it doesn't matter how much a person's time is monopolized by another person. And I'm not saying this is the case, but in some cases was. She just leaned over and started talking to me. Terry, remember the time that we both signed the Tinkerbell? And I sculpted Tinkerbell tiptoeing across the map. It's called Terry's Tinkerbell. You can see her on eBay, and you can see what she looks like. I would show you what she looks like, but I left my iPad in the place where I'm not. But you can find her, and if you have one and I've signed it, then it might be nice if you're going to be in the area of Irvine at the Disney Fan Club to bring it with you and ask Margaret to sign the other side. You will be charged for that autograph, but it will be worth it. It's a very rare set. We did it at a candlelight where we both appeared at the candlelight, not on stage. It's all about the music, not about the person. But we went to candlelight together. We were at the Disneyana store on Main Street together, and they found about, I can't remember, about maybe 30 Tinkerbells, and they pulled them all out, and Margaret and I signed them, and they just sold. Just people grabbed them, poof. That's what happened with that sculpture. But she and I were reminiscing about that, and it was lovely. There's several things that Margaret and I have done. We've done a couple. She wrote a stage. She wrote a little skit that we did for Disneyana when it was the NFFC that we had a lot of fun. We did it with Mark Silverman, the voice of the Tower of Terror. WDW now. He's still at WDW. Now it's the, what is it? It's the Guardians of the Galaxy here in Anaheim. But it was great, and I talked about that a little bit, and then we talked about some things, but it was really great. It was great to meet them. It's also great to hear about other people besides yourself. Always fun to hear that. So it was good. Margaret had a great time, and I think I did too. And then we wrapped up and came home, and yes, you're right, Barbara, it was amazing, but it was a long day. Thank you for my birthday, Jacob. Of course. Happy birthday, you bet. I hope it was a good one. Wendy, yes, don't squat down next to Margaret. She will tell you to straighten up. Wendy, yeah. She wants you to make sure you're, and she showed me some pictures. She wanted to show me some pictures of her husband and how they got these like chairs, those chairs that are woven, but they're not made out of straw. They're made out of that material that just lasts forever, and you can hit it with a hose, Wendy. And her husband picked them up and put them on it looked like a hotel roller cart. And he took them to his car, and then he loaded them into his car all by himself. And of course, he's like, 90? He was 94 when she was 90 when they got married. So now I think he's like 90. She's 90. So he must be almost 100. He's like 97 or 98 years old. And he's just like, boing, boing. And she's showing me, look at my husband. Boing, boing. And then she showed what she loaded up on the cart, which was adorable. It was like a pillow and a folding thing. And she says, I'm still good, and I said, of course you are. So she's absolutely adorable. She just cracks me up. She is so funny. But I appreciate that she is being pushed around in a wheelchair because she's so busy, and she finds, as I might find later when I'm in my 90s, that to be pushed around in a wheelchair just allows you to have more time to visit with more people. Because once the word gets out that Margaret's around, everybody tries to see her. And of course, wouldn't you? So she's such a delight that it was great to see her last night. She got up out of that wheelchair and jumped in that chair, and it was great. It was great. A lot of fun. Stephanie says, hi, Cher. And she says it's her surfer girl. She says here, I love lots of colors. I think it's just more fun on our clothes. It is. It is. It is. I went to Japan in, I think my first visit to Japan was 2005. and I noticed that the people of Japan were wearing earth tones, so black and tans and sand colors, and it looked very very office. They were they were dressed very office like, and many times when I saw them. And then in 2007, when I went back, many of the younger generation was experimenting with color. And it was great to see sometimes they were absolute color collisions where you're like, whoa, I know you like colors, but you don't need them all on your body. But then there were others where it was just so much fun to watch the colors sort of more and more in 2007 with Japan than I had seen in '05. And now Japan is just tons of color, and you see fewer and fewer. I mean, kimonos are a different thing. Many women of the older generation of Japan still wear a full-on kimono, and so those are always a joy to see, of course, and always colorful. But I mean, sort of the going from train to work to home or whatever. It was usually more officey like in the beginning, but now they're doing more colors, and they're really experimenting, and it's great to see this country just explode in all kinds of fun colors. So I'm with you on that. I love Japan. I'm a big fan of it. The late who created the style of Miss Piggy. Yes, then I'm sure I've worked with her. Yes, I'm sure. Jane Gutnick, who is the one that usually maintains the Muppets. She and I are very close. And then Amy Van Gelder was the other one. She actually worked for Disney for a while. And then I think Amy is now retired, maybe. I miss Amy. I love Amy. So yes, all these people that you're talking about, Miss Debbie, I'm sure I know her. Absolutely sure I know her. It's just faces are better for me than names. For a while, I was trying to remember Amy Van Gelder's name because we got together. We just loved working together. And all of a sudden, I was like, what was her name? And then all of a sudden, it popped back in my head. So Barbara says, oh, when we went, I got a hand towel from Disney World. Oh, yeah. Awesome. There you go. Yeah. I have a Muppet t-shirt that I like a lot. I don't usually get t-shirts because the the high collar bothers me. But I found one that I liked a lot. I think if you go to see Puppet Up at the Henson Studios, they have little puppets you can buy, various little puppets that you can buy. They're not of the Muppets because, of course, Muppets is now Disney. And yeah, it's a whole different kind of licensing, but I won't go into that. But yeah. Mike asked my mom doing. She's doing fine. Ornery as ever. Wonders why God won't take her. And we say it's because she's just, she's got all of her faculties. She doesn't walk anymore, but she's very alert. She's very smart. She's very witty. And she is, what did my sister say? My sister said she's, I can't remember the word that she said. She has a lot of tenacity, and she's challenging. so she's wonderful, but she's ornery. That's the word my sister used. And it's very interesting, you guys, when your mom, forgive me, I shouldn't try and drink my tea. Okay. I built a mermaid tail, but I should know I can't breathe underwater. Whew. But you can see how I'm doing. Whew. That's better. Don't breathe your water or your tea. Note to self. Stephanie says, great idea for teachers on how to make puppets from stuffies. It works. Also, I teach a class to teachers called Build a Buddy for kids, because a lot of times if you're being bullied or you're having challenges, sometimes you need a confidant, and that's how I ended up building my first puppet, which was a lamb chop. I copied Sherry Lewis's lamb chop. I guess a few drops were still there. I used to watch Sherry Lewis, and I built a lamb chop out of a sock. That was my confidant when I had challenges at school. Because sometimes you want to sort of talk to a buddy like this, and it works great. So I teach classes on how to make these puppets, how to design your own. It's a whole big production that I do with teachers and camp counselors and things like that. So yeah, I just need to get more of this, what I do, on my website so you guys can know about it, because a lot of times I just talk about it, but one thing at a time. Sometimes you wish you were an octopus, but you can't be an octopus unless you're an octopus. So in this case, I just do one thing at a time. And I am consistent with channels like this because so many of you want to connect and need this. And I want to make sure you got it if you'd like it. My Snow White, see, Candy D, my Snow White cookie jar. She donated a cookie jar one time at the pumpkin thing. And boy, were people excited. They were like, oh my gosh, a cookie jar. So they were hoping their name would be drawn first, Candy. You remember that, right? I'll tell you, it's a great table. You guys are so, so generous. And we gather stuff throughout the year that is there because we get things from charity events and, you know, a lot of light up things. One year we did pirates and we had these light up skulls and things. And it's just my house at 67. It's time to move stuff to you guys where you can enjoy it and display it and love on it. Whereas if it's in a box in my garage, it's doing nobody no good. So this is why kind of the thing that everyone thinks about. Quick question, says Barbara, is the bomber jacket behind you an opening day California Adventure jacket? No, the bomber jacket behind me is a jacket for charity donated. This one you're asking. This is the 75th anniversary jacket of Mickey Mouse. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, and I will be asking people to bid on it. My tribe first. So it's not available to the public yet, but my tribe first will get the chance to bid on this jacket, and the money goes to charity, goes to Chalk for 2025 Chalk Walk, not 2024. We're done with that one. But this one, yep. The cool thing about that jacket behind me, Barbara, is everything is embroidered. Not iron on, not stick on. It's all embroidered. It is one stunning Mickey Mouse 75th jacket with patches on the arms that feature his classic, his canine, his just, it's all great. It's all beautiful. But if you're part of the tribe, you get to have a bid on that. If you want it, they get it first, and we will do it for charity. So that's the jacket. Good question. I still have the video of the skit at the NFFC meet where Mark was answering his shoe. It was classic. Should you ever want to see it again, Margaret has whispered to me also, was an honor and still is to be her friend. I'd love that, Susan. I would love to see it. We always giggle. Margaret and I always giggle. At first she didn't want to giggle about it, but we always giggle, Susan, about in that sequence when we were rehearsing this, and we rehearsed this, she wrote it. She wrote the skit. Margaret Carey wrote the skit. It was directed by my teacher, my acting teacher, because I told her I'm not good with people who direct their own stuff and act in it as well. There are some situations I love it, but most of the time I don't like it. So I said I would love her to be able to concentrate on her performance. And she's got a writing credit and she's got the acting credit. And then I'm acting, and then Mark is acting in it as well. It was really, really fun. Super, super fun. But she could not. She wrote a line that had, you may remember, Susan, the punchline was Dean Jones. And she could not remember this name to save her life. She wrote it. She thought it would just trippingly come off the tongue, but for whatever reason, there was a block. We all get them. And I told her, and she'd get frustrated because when she acts, she's very method. And when you're in a ensemble skit group, you need to know who is method, who is ad lib, meaning they're gonna like comedians. Like if you've seen, like Puppet Up is a lot of ad libbing and a lot of off the cuff making up of stories while you're working puppets. But if you're a method actor, you like to stick to the script. One of the iconic ones that I remember is the movie Twins with Schwarzenegger and DeVito, where, Schwarzenegger said he was going to squash him. If he didn't say the lines right, he was just going to pump him. So because a comedian ad libs, they'll change lines, they'll shift. Well, Margaret needed the cue, meaning the line before her, to be the line as written. And it was very challenging for Mark Silverman to do this because he ad libs and I ad lib. But once I saw that Margaret needed method, we sat down with my acting teacher director, with writer Margaret, and with actors Terry and Mark Silverman. And I said, let's put me in between Mark and Margaret. So Mark always delivered a line to me, and I was able to handle the ad libs. And then I would deliver my line. And even if I ad libbed in the middle, I always made sure the line cue, that line before, like let her in, is the line that's written. I always would say, Sky, da 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 da, let her in. And that was the cue for Margaret to know she speaks next. So in the case of Dean Jones, when we did this sequence, I said to her, don't worry about it. I'll know that Dean Jones is the name. And if for any reason you freeze, I will say, do you mean Dean Jones? And you can go on. So we even rehearsed it that way. Margaret would say, blah, 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 punchline. And I'd say, oh, do you mean Dean Jones? And she would say, yes. And she would go on with her lines. That way she could relax and not get all bundled up because she couldn't remember the name. So this is what actors do for each other on stage. And I think even in movies, you'll cut and you'll reshoot it, but at least you will try to get through it. But with this, it worked out great. It worked out perfectly wonderfully, because Margaret did, as I recall, that it froze, and all I did was because the audience doesn't know. The audience doesn't know what it's supposed to be. So you just relax. And as a theater performer for many, many years, I knew that if I forgot a line or I made up a line or whatever to help get it moving again, from the stage, they didn't know unless they came like every night and watched it. But most of the time, I think I did musical theater for about 4 years, and we were traveling. So we only did 2 or 3 shows when we traveled all through schools all over Southern California. So, and I love doing theater because you get that instant gratification from the cheers and whatever. And some things things don't work until the day you have an audience, and then they all fit into place. And this happens to me very often as well. So, so this was a great thing, and we did and everybody loved the skit, and Margaret got a lot of praise. We all got praise, but the thing was great because Margaret had written it, she acted in it, and it was a lot of fun. And this was just something she wanted to do when it was the NFFC. She just wanted to do a skit because she's a performer, and she loves to do panel discussions with other performers. So she and I did a date in Disneyana a long time ago with the Shingolds, Anita and her lovely husband Gary, and we brought down the house. People didn't want to leave because she and I she would do something and we would talk about this. Oh, and remember when we did this and whatever. And we're very entertaining storytellers. The two of us together is like winning the lottery, she would often say, which I love her for that. We just love doing panels together. And we haven't done one in a while, but putting us together, it's not a bad thing. We bounce off of each other's stories. We talk about, remember the time when we, or you remember the time when you know, and things like that. And it's really great. So it's great to know her. It's great to see her. And as Susan says, it's great to be her friend. She always greets you with a loving smile and a sparkle. And if you can come out and see her in October, I highly recommend it. She is almost 95, I think she told me. And or she just turned 95, one or the other. In any case, 95 is quite an accomplishment. So you'll love to see her. She's still got that. She's got that zing, doesn't she, Susan? She does. Candy D, oh, you're the one that won it. Okay. I thought it came from my other friend Sandy, but I wasn't about to argue with you, Candy. But you won the cookie jar. Yes. And you were excited to get it. I remember. See, I'm face names. So, like I said, but good for you. There's that testimonial. Thank you for showing the jacket. It's simply gorgeous. It is. And it's an extra large. You know, it would be a lot harder to put it up for charity if it was a small. So I'm really, really happy it's an extra large. It is a gorgeous leather sleeves, embroidered, completely embroidered. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I haven't looked to see what it actually goes for, but remember, it's a charity, and chat with your husband, and if it's something that you want, and come up with a price. Highest bidder wins in the tribe. Barbara is a member of Terry's tribe, so another good reason to join. Indeed, it's to help me with my charity events. Mike says, Terry, I like the part when the cartoon characters wearing the swimsuits and swim underwater for underwater adventure. Mike is always talking about classic stuff. So if you're new and you say, what does that mean? It means that he brings up thoughts of classic adventures and stuff. I was on a wonderful podcast, and I will post it. I will link to it, where we were supposed to talk about a lot of Disney stuff. He even coached me. Jason, bless his heart, and his wife, Lisa. They were coaching me, keep it Disney, keep it up, which is easy to keep it upbeat and whatever. But we got on a tangent because Lisa, his wife, started talking about how she's a film buff and how she likes movies from, the 20s, the 30s, silence, foreign. And I said, Jason, I'm sorry, I got to talk to her about movies she loves. So it segued into these movies that you should see if you haven't seen movies that are classic, because in the days of CG, which is where we're living now, where you can pretty much do anything your little heart can imagine, because you can make it happen in the computer. Dragons come alive and fly, and people fly, and all this. You go back to the time when there were no computers. How did they make things happen? Mary Poppins is a perfect example with Julie Andrews. This was no computer, okay? But the effects in that movie are fabulous. And now, if you see it in the digital version, you don't react to them as surprised because you're in the CG brain and you see how they were done. But for me, that's the part that I love very, very much. Audio animatronic puppets, which take actual puppeteers, to make things like the Country Bears work, and to make things like the Ninja Turtles of the day, the audio animatronic Ninja Turtles that were done by a lot of the people that were in the show Dinosaurs with yours truly. They all were people in suits working with us on the Big One system, making it all happen. So you get back there and you get to see how some of this stuff is done. It is très cool. And you might enjoy seeing what it took to do things that are so much more easily done. I won't say simpler, but they're easier done because you get your CG guys and they build it in the computer, and all of a sudden it's real. Your worlds are real. So there were other, they wanted to give you these real worlds in the early times, but they had to get clever because there were no such thing as computer generated or computers or anything of the sorts. We call it the time that a phone could be a murder weapon. And that's not the case anymore. And it had a dial that went shh, da, 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 shh, da, 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 da. And that's what the way everyone talks about it. It's very cute. And we did this on this, so you got to check it out. I will post it later because I got to look it up. That's how much the mind is like. Yeah. So there you go. Let's see. It looks like we're at our hour and a half. So I'm going to say, do something nice for someone else. It'll make you feel a whole lot better. Have a fabulous weekend. I will see you Monday. And I've enjoyed speaking with you today. I thank you for being here. As I always do, think about joining the tribe. And I will see you on Monday. Yes, I'm back in town. Happy, bright-eyed, and bushy-tailed Monday. Okay, everyone. Bye for now. Enjoy.